Hey, Eagles. Glad to see you tonight. I'm sorry I couldn't be at tennis myself, but tonight's a Wednesday and I'm doing youth ministry, which means that it's time for me to prepare the house for company to come. If you've worked at Life Christian for very long or spent very many years there as an employee, you know that one of Ross's favorite sayings is that company's coming and you got to be prepared when they get there because you hope to make a significant impact. And I wanted to send this video because there are very few people in my life who have made more of a significant impact on me than Ross Joseph. Ross, I want to thank you for the bottom of my heart for the chance that you took on me to be a teacher and the fact that you gave me an opportunity to grow as a teacher and as a speaker and as a leader over my 10 years at Life Christian. I know that you know very well that that first quarter for me was not so good. As a matter of fact, I remember the day that Bob Abston walked into my room. He said, "Hey, Pat, you know, Christmas is coming and you could just, call it and we could find a youth ministry job and they would love you there and it would be super easy." And I was like, wow, that sounds really appealing, but it's not what God had for me. And I remember coming in over Christmas break every day and trying to get ready to prepare for the rest of the school year. I was really lucky that year to have kids like Tyler in my class, who I'm sure is sitting there in a suit right now with his beautiful wife, and just blessed to be honoring his dad. But at that point in time, he was turning in papers that didn't meet the requirement because he thought he could push over the first year teacher, which I think most of the time he probably did. Anyway, I remember conversations with Ross. And as that year turned, Ross, where you came to me and you said, you know what, something changed in your step. And I feel like this is maybe going a little bit better for you. And you gave me the opportunity to grow. I remember one Saturday when I came in and I was preparing for the week and I brought my dog with me. And as we were heading into the classroom, I heard a voice from down the hall and it said, "What is this, the Point Defiant Zoo and Aquarium?" And I turned around and sure enough, it was Ross. And well, you wanted to know I had a dog in the building. Sorry for bringing my dog in the building. I would like to note that several years later, I did meet your dog at the building. Anyway, you gave me the opportunity to make lifelong friends, to grow as a leader and as a teacher. You had confidence in me when I didn't have confidence in myself. You have always taught us leadership. You've always taught us to strive towards a goal. You've always taught us the value of listening to leaders. You've always taught us the value of looking forward at opportunities that are ahead of us and the fact that God has grace and that He will meet us where we're going. Anybody that knows you knows that you speak life. And that just isn't a Life Christian thing. That just isn't a biblical thing. That's a Ross Joseph thing. It's a growth thing. It helped me so much. Helped me so much. I remember, Ross, after my accident, when I was in the hospital at the University of Washington after breaking my neck, when you walked into my room with Bob and Mark. It was a Monday. It was a little after 9 o'clock. And I was still sleeping. And the three of you strolled in and you said, "Don't get used to this sleeping until 9 a.m. thing. You're going to have to come back to work at some point in time." And at that point in time in my life, I didn't know if I was going to be going back to work because doctors had told me that I would never walk, I would never use my hands, and I would never have a kid. But Ross said, "What's God saying? How do you go?" Ross, you came and you met with me weekly while I was in the hospital. And I will never forget the day that you called me. I was already in bed. It was probably 8:30 at night. And you said, "Hey, Pat, how'd you feel about coming back to work to teach the Bible after the semester ends?" And my heart leapt. And you took a chance on me coming back. You put my life back into motion. And I don't think you realize the significant impact that that phone call had on me. It got me employed. It got me speaking life to people. It got me preaching the word again. It got me teaching the Bible. It also afforded me the opportunity to meet my wife. I have some pictures behind me, and I chose this spot purposely because there's my daughter. That's the answer to God's promise that He was going to heal me. There's my wife. There's my family. Your phone call for me to come back to work in a roundabout way led me back to having family. And today I'm trying to continue my impact on others because of the example you set for me for years. Thank you so much, Ross. I know I'm not the only one. I so appreciate your phone calls. And I have to let you guys know, I've been gone for Life Christian for 4 years now. I've met some of my very best friends there, people who I call family to this day. There's a whole list of them, so I won't even start. But I could walk back in that building right now and be surrounded by family. And that started with Ross. And when I left Life Christian, Ross called my new boss, said, I'd love to talk to you about Pat. And that guy came to me and said, man, people love you at Life Christian. You're loved. I know I'm loved. Ross sets an example of loving others. Thank you so much for who you are and for what you've done for 26 years for the Tacoma area and for Life Christian School. Hey, Eagles. Go Eagles. Fly high.